Welcome to my instructional video on how to create a simple line drawing and colour it in. You can either do a self-portrait of yourself for this particular workshop, or you can look at the profile of your classmate and try and draw their profile. So the first thing is we're going to do this in Photoshop. Here is one that I prepared earlier. As you can see, I'm not great at drawing, but this is a really good workshop to get you familiar with using some of the tools in Photoshop. So what we're going to do is we're going to start a new file. So we're going to File New or Control N, and we're going to give this a title straight away and call it My First Character. And we're going to change the dimensions, if you haven't got these in yours, for 600 pixels for the width and 800 pixels for the height. We are going to have a background of white, so if yours does say transparent, let's change it to white, and then we click OK, and we should start off with a new document. So the first thing we're going to do is we're going to select the pencil tool from the toolbar area here, and I believe the pencil tool is, it just looks like a pencil, and as soon as you select a tool from the toolbar area, you get all your options up here. So the first thing to do is you can see the cursor changes to a crosshair on the screen, and it's quite small, so I'm just going to make that a little bit thicker, and I can do this using the arrow key here. So we can go up to about 25, maybe that's a little bit too thick, let's say 20. Yeah. So we go up to, let's say, well, I'm actually going to go to 15. Okay, and then I'm just going to leave the style of the pencil the same, and I'm just going to draw my side profile. That might be a little bit too thick. I'm going to leave it for now. You can play around with yours, and hopefully it's going to have some resemblance to me. I don't think my chin points out quite as much as that. I'm going to just leave that for now. Okay, and then I'm just going to put in my eye. And my lips. And I'm just going to put in a little ear here. I'll just make it slightly smaller, about 10 pixels, 9-10 pixels, and I'm just going to draw some hair. And you can see as you're drawing you can change the thickness and the style of your pencil to get the effect you want. Of course, drawing would be much better using a tablet and a stylus. I'm actually using a mouse, and it is more difficult to draw with a mouse. Well, that's my excuse for my drawing skills. And I'm just going to make it a little bit smaller, because I just want to put in some little eyelashes here. And of course you can change the colour to add depth and shade, but for the purpose of this tutorial, I'm just going to very quickly draw a profile for you. Okay. Okay, so that is kind of the slide profile for me. And the next thing I want you to try and do is to colour in using the magic wand tool. But before we do that, as you know, in Photoshop we always work in layers, and just to bear in mind that this is your background layer and it's locked. So at the moment everything is in one layer. So to change, to unlock it, you can just double click on the padlock, and we're going to still call this let's call this profile, because it's my profile, and say OK, and then you'll notice that the lock has gone on the layer. So what we want to do is, first of all, we want to choose a colour. So I'm just going to sort of colour the hair. So I'm going to look for a sort of maybe a brown kind of a colour. So that looks okay. That's a little bit darker. So there's my colour chosen. So I hit OK, and then you can see that the foreground colour swatch has changed. So use the hair, and then what I need, I can try the magic wand tool, but as you can see, when I click this, because it's hasn't got solid lines, it selected everything, so I don't want to colour everything in. So what I find is the quick selection tool is really useful. So to get rid of the magic wand selection, I just use Control D, and then what I can do is use the quick selection tool to colour in most of the hair. So then choose the paint bucket tool, which again is on the toolbar here. Once you choose that and click in the area you selected, you can colour in the hair. Now it's just a little bit missing there, so I go back to the direct selection tool, or the quick selection tool, and I just select that area. Again, it's still selected from previously, Control D. I just click in that area, press the paint bucket tool, and then in it goes. So just roughly I've coloured in that area. Now if you make a mistake, you can just press Control Z on the keyboard to undo your mistakes, and Control Alt Z will just keep going. So you just keep pressing it until it goes. And we've also got the history panel here on the right hand side, and so if you want to go back to everything as it was, oops, right down to here, you can, and I don't have to redo it all again. Let me just quickly click in there. Okay, so now what I want you to do is colour in the face using skin colour or the lips. So use let's try again the magic wand tool. We'll try that first, and select an area of the face we want to colour in. This time we're going to use a new layer for your selection. So I'm going to click this because now I know that the skin is in a solid area, and if you do a right click here, you can say layer via copy. So if you click via layer via copy, you can see in your layers panel now here a new layer. So let's rename this new layer, and let's call it skin. And always when you're working on each layer, make sure it's selected so you are working in the right layer. Okay, so what I can do, why is it useful really, is because once you've created that layer, you can change it as many times as you want without affecting any of the other layers. So let's get a nice skin colour up here. That's going to go, yeah. Okay, and then if we choose the paint bucket tool again, you can see that I've coloured in the skin. Alright, so what I'd like you to do is carry on with your portrait, adding as much detail as you can and filling in the colours. You might want to create other layers, maybe for the eyes and the lips, so that you can change them one without having to change the other. So have an experiment with that and play around with the tools, and don't forget to save your work as you go along. I look forward to seeing your portraits. Great! That's it for now.